Hey, everybody, welcome back to I Know a Guy. I'm Anthony, and this is the podcast where connections thrive. Each episode, we spotlight inspiring entrepreneurs, professionals, and individuals doing amazing things. Together, we'll grow your circle, spark collaborations, and discover new opportunities. Today, we're meeting Jean Mayland, a purpose-driven entrepreneur and business leader with a passion for innovation, philanthropy, and community impact. With a rich background in operations, marketing, and finance, Jean helps nonprofits create substantial funding while guiding businesses in zero-cost philanthropy to make a lasting difference. How are you doing today, Jean?
Doing great. Thanks, Anthony. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again, too. I was really excited to have you on. You're doing a lot of awesome things, and there's people out there that need to know what you're doing because I didn't know it existed before talking to you, so I was super excited to share that. But to start off, where are you calling in from? Where are you located?
I'm in Iowa.
Okay. Yeah, well, as a fellow Iowan, how's Iowa today?
Right. Well, today's pretty good, and tomorrow we're expecting a blizzard with about 8 inches of snow. So, 50 degrees down to a blizzard, but it's Iowa.
Yeah, there's
it'll be gone next week, so it's good.
Be gone the next day.
But when I say that, it keeps a lot of people from moving to Iowa, and then we kind of keep our peaceful, calm little quiet state. So it's okay. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, no, keep flying over it. We don't mind. Awesome.
Right. Just fly over.
Yeah, so if you have friends coming into town that have never been, and you're not trying to scare them off, right? What are you going to go do for fun, and where are you guys going for dinner?
We're going to play on the lake, and we're going to go to the restaurant that's on the lake. Maybe watch a little pickleball, watch everybody walking, watch the seagulls, anything lake-oriented is what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I don't know what's up with pickleball, but it's taken off here. Everybody's playing. I don't know what the whole thing about it is, but anyway, no, that all sounds fun. Iowa's different. Different times of year, you have some things you can and can't do, but definitely sounds great. But what can you tell us about you and what you do?
Well, it's interesting that I never anticipated I'd be in this realm, working with nonprofits and helping them. So it just makes me happy every day, right? Because it's just fulfilling. And I'm just blessed to be doing this, to be able to help nonprofits with what I'm doing. I've done a lot of things in my career. I'm not a young pup anymore, so I've got lots of experience under my belt and lots of connections, and I've done a lot of things, but this is what really, really feels good, right? And blessed to be here at this moment.
Yeah, no, and you saying that this isn't where you thought you were going to be, obviously. Right. There's a story there. So how did you get here? How did you get into this?
It's called running into people and meeting people, right? I've been in the corporate sector, doing things there. I've also been an entrepreneur in different phases. My husband and I did a couple different things, and I actually have a side venture that I'm still an entrepreneur with right now. So, but it's in the growing stage. So, and as you're out there building businesses and in the corporate world, you meet lots of people. And I ran into somebody that was helping nonprofits. So it's not my company. It's a company that I work with to help the nonprofits. So I'm just like, to me, it's an absolutely, people say no brainer, and it's not like a no brainer, but it truly, truly makes sense. And if you can make it happen, it's going to make a world of difference for a nonprofit. So, so it's just a matter of people meeting people, and that happens throughout life. You never know where that road is going to take you, because you may choose a road and eventually it's going to give you some options, and then that road starts bending a different direction. So you never know where that road's going to lead. You'll never outguess life. That's the motto of mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Accurate too. So, you say you're helping nonprofits in what way?
Well, we help them create sustainable funding, right? Sustainable means something that continues to grow and support itself, right? That's sustainable. You got sustainable farming, same kind of concept. So once you get the process set up, it continues to come in for you, and that relieves that dollar chase that nonprofits are always doing, right? Because they need money to continue their mission. Some of them struggle a lot more than others. And when you're continually doing fundraising and grants and events and all that kind of stuff, they have to do that to bring money in, right? But they're spending so much time doing that, they don't have as much time focusing on what their mission is really meant to do. Now, is that every single nonprofit? I'm being kind of general, but it's kind of a general theme, right? So when we can relieve that, they can actually have more money plus more time to do what their mission is really meant to do. Now they can really pour their heart out, and hopefully deeper and stronger.
Absolutely. And what is it that you love most about this?
Because it makes so much sense, right? The nonprofits love it. And then um, obviously we're helping more people through their nonprofits, because nonprofits don't exist because if they're not helping someone. That's the whole point of a nonprofit, right? That's why they set them up, is for the end user. So the nonprofit's gonna, I mean, I always talk about the greater good, right? So what a brilliant way to do the greater good, right? I can help the nonprofits get this set up, and they can help more people help the recipients of their mission.
Okay. And you kind of touched on this, with, it being nonprofits, but when you're looking at your average client, your average nonprofit that you're able to help, what are some of the pain points that they're facing that if they're going through X, Y, or Z, they should be talking to you?
Well, and even if they're not facing a lot of pain points, but right now, okay, let's we're going to get a little thick here, right? So they have to have money to survive, right? And we're kind of in a situation right now with the economy where some of the wallet things are getting more expensive. Some people's wallets, businesses' wallets, we've seen some businesses closing, shutting down. Everybody's looking, it's getting tighter, right? Our economy has been really strong for a long time. And I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I mean, Anthony, haven't you noticed that there's been a lot of stress on the economy right now? Yep. Who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't know how much eggs have gone up, right? um, and so, I mean, this happened. There was a recession in 2008. They went through struggles during COVID, so they go through these cyclical things, right? And right now is another time where we could be facing challenges. And if nonprofits can't get money from individuals who donate, businesses who donate, grants that are, everybody's going to be chasing the grants more, and they're going to be a little more selective because there's more people going after them, maybe, right? Because they got to have money. We might have nonprofits closing, and we don't want that, right? So we have an alternative for them where they don't have to do the same things they were doing and still be able to be successful.
When you're looking at power partners or other professionals or industries that you synergize well with or can refer back and forth with, what does that look like?
You know, power partners. It's so that's a great question, because most conversations I have, I'll just throw out that question. Do you have a passion for a nonprofit? Do you know nonprofits? Do you do anything with nonprofits? And if it's a yes, there's the conversation right there. So they become a partner at that point. And that's the relationships when you build with somebody. That's how I get my power partners. So, um, different organizations that are meant to help the nonprofits. It could be an accountant that helps nonprofits. It could be just an informational source, a nonprofit consultant. It could be a gentleman that I met in Cedar Rapids. He's pro what I do, so he's referring me to nonprofits in his area. So, is there a specific power partner? Anybody that's got any kind of connection or heart for a nonprofit.
Okay. And then looking at your entrepreneur side, you have a couple of ventures going on. You've been doing this for a while. What advice would you give to a new or aspiring entrepreneur?
Make sure you're in love with it, because chasing the dollar is one thing, but you've got to love it. And you've got to know that there's going to be struggles, and there's going to be more struggles than gains sometimes, right? You've got to be prepared for that. You've got to have the grit to be able to continue and move forward, because and as soon as you start making more money, there's going to be a different set of challenges, and you've got to be prepared for that, right? And so you've got to know what your end goal is and what those stages are to get you there. Sometimes you're going to have to lean on somebody, find somebody you can lean on or ask, or figure out what those next steps are. So surround yourself with people that have more knowledge or more intelligence in certain areas than you might. It's always better to surround yourself with those kind of people, right? Because they're going to help propel you a little bit farther. You may be very intelligent and aspiring yourself and have a vision, but if you know somebody that can help take you to that next level because they know that right person or that particular thing, that'll help your venture a lot more.
Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic advice.
Thank you.
How can businesses implement zero cost philanthropy to make a bigger impact?
Well, it gets into the nitty gritty. I didn't know if we were going to go down this path, but there is a way for businesses to do zero cost philanthropy. It's something that they're already implementing in their business. So it's redirecting an expense that they already have that they have to pay anyway. So they have no choice but to pay it. So it's legally set up with the IRS to redirect it to a nonprofit. So is that hanging the carrot out there a little bit?
Yeah, no, it's definitely the better of the two options, right?
Right.
If it's money that's being spent, it's where's it better spent, right?
Where's
So
it better spent, right? And
how
you're gonna have
can
to spend it anyway. So let's do the greater good with it, right?
exactly how can nonprofits create a sustainable funding to support their mission?
That would be connecting with me and helping me set them up to interact with business so they can get that fee redirected back to them. It's just not known. It's because people are greedy with money. And maybe that's not the right way to say it, but people don't necessarily want to do the extra work to do the right thing. And so they go the easy route, right? And so that doesn't mean this is difficult for the business or the nonprofit. It's the back end of what we do. But that's why we do it, is because we're a philanthropic business ourselves.
I think a good portion of that is just people not knowing, right?
Right.
It's you can be ignorant to a lot of things. I don't know what I don't know, and when I talk to people that are doing things that I'm completely unaware of, it blows my hair. I'm like, how do I not know? This is amazing.
Right.
More people should absolutely know you. So, how can entrepreneurs balance business success with meaningful community impact?
Businesses should be doing this, because people like to do business with companies that are doing something better for society as a whole, or for a nonprofit or something, right? If you walk into a business or you're shopping or whatever, and they've got a little sign on the door or on their website or whatever that says a percentage of whatever we do goes to such and such nonprofit, right? The animal shelter down the street, or the homeless shelter, or whatever it is. Maybe it's to a veteran, or feeding the hungry, whatever it is. There's endless amounts of types of nonprofits. But when you're doing business with a business that's doing something like that, you feel better about doing business, right? So it makes that business look like a philanthropic business that they are, right? And so that's a great way for a business to promote themselves, right? To show that, that might be their primary promotion thing. But if you're doing business and you can see that, oh, I'm spending money here, and a little bit of that's actually going to go to help somebody else, right? So we've seen plenty of businesses that do that. Buy 2 pair of socks and the third one will be donated free to somebody, or something like that, right? There's all kinds of options out there. This doesn't require anybody to spend any extra money or take any extra money out of their pocket, off their bottom line.
Absolutely. Yeah, just trying to, lead to a net positive,
Right.
outcome for, somebody other than yourself. I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
So why you? What sets you apart from everybody else out there that might be in a similar space, or also trying to help nonprofits? What sets you, out amongst them?
Because, well, one, I really care about what I'm doing. I just don't say this is what we do and then drop the ball. I will help them with whatever stage of what we're doing, because it is a little bit of a process, but it's an easy process if you take the steps, right? Don't take the whole large chunk of cheese. Just sliver off a little bit, right? And do a little bit at a time. And I will help them walk through that process. So I don't want them to feel like they've got the weight of it on them. They've already got a nonprofit, usually already has a weight on them anyway. I don't want them to have that. I want this to become easy and then become sustainable. And then they're like, wow, what a great move we made. That's part of why me. The other part of why me is because most likely 99.9% of the nonprofits haven't heard of what we do. And there's no expense to them and no expense to any business that wants to do the zero cost philanthropy. So it's a win-win-win. So
absolutely.
Who doesn't want a win-win-win?
Yeah. And I know people are going to have a lot of questions, because a lot of people are wanting that win-win-win. But in general, is there anything that I missed or that I failed to ask that you wanted to add?
Great question. I think we, other than being a little bit vague, because I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it. I'd rather have a one-on-one conversation with people. But, you said it earlier, and this is also one of my statements, my philosophies. You don't know what you don't know, right? Until you know, so, take the opportunity, find out what it is, see if it makes sense. And I can tell you, with the nonprofits that I work with, they see it, they get it. And it's a matter of we just stepping through each step. So take the time and just give me a call and see if it makes sense for you. And I guarantee you it will.
For those that want to know more, that want to have that call, how do they get a hold of you? Where do they find you?
Well, my office number is 712-220-0356, and you can text or call that number. So I know some people are big texters and some people would rather call. So either way works for me. Or you can reach out. And I like to just use my Gmail because it's easy to remember. It's just my name, Jean Mayland, not Maryland. Don't put an R in it. I'm not a state. That happens a lot, but I'm okay with it. Jean Mayland. We may land here. JeanMayland@gmail.com.
Perfect. If anybody would like to get a hold of Jean, absolutely do it. I'm going to put all that in the show notes so it's super easy to find. Reach out, have that conversation. If you want to help nonprofits, that's a noble thing to want to do, even if it's not your main thing, but just something that you have. Have that conversation.
Yeah.
There's people out there that want to help, that want to do more. They just don't know how. So this is a great way of doing that. So feel free, reach out to Jean. She's the exact same, on a one-to-one as she is here. So don't be afraid to have that conversation. If anybody would like to get a hold of me, you can find me at ikag.me. You can find more episodes, subscribe to our newsletter, and connect with our growing community of awesome people like Jean. If you or somebody would like to be interviewed, you can also apply on the website. But Jean, thank you so much for your time. You're doing awesome things.
Thank you,
The more
Anthony.
value, absolutely, the more value that we can add to the world, the better, right? That should at least be a part of all of our mission. It doesn't have to be the main thing, but if you can do a little bit of good, you probably should go out of your way, just a step to try. But I'm really appreciative of you coming on and everything that you're doing. Let's all go out. Let's have an awesome day and grow our circles, all right?
Sounds good. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.